It's DraftKings contributors Kenny Ducey and Matt LaMarca here to price check around the diamond. What an absolute pleasure it is to have both of you here. Let's start with the pitching department. There are 4 dudes, 8K and up. Which one do you like? Matthew, start us off.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a guy called Jacob deGrom. Ever heard of him, Emerson?
I certainly have.
Probably the best pitcher in baseball. The Mets off to a weird start with their season. They are playing for the first time today. That should actually work as a benefit for deGrom instead of having to go in a head-to-head pitcher's duel with Max Scherzer, which he was initially scheduled for. Now he gets to take on Matt Moore for the Phillies, who not quite the same pitcher as Max Scherzer. As a result, Mets are pretty large favorites, -204. The Phillies have the lowest implied team total on the slate. We know deGrom is an elite strikeout pitcher. He was hitting 101, even 102 during spring training. So, gonna go with the safe option here of Jacob deGrom.
Ooh, is it that safe, Kenny? And he's the most expensive, 10-7.
Yeah, Matt with the hard-hitting analysis there that Jacob deGrom's a good strikeout pitcher. How about the Phillies have the 3rd highest strikeout rate in baseball so far this year? They have looked awful on offense and have been carried by their pitching staff. 9 runs in 3 games, just 1 home run. Yes, Jacob deGrom is a safe option here at 10.7K. I know that obviously, you like to see guys get get a few starts under their belt. deGrom is obviously still getting older, but still, I don't expect anything different than a good game from him. And also a fantastic chance to get the win against Matt Moore, who, he hasn't been good since he was supposed to be good and never was good. So yeah, I like the Mets to beat up on the Phillies here and get this win. Also, Dustin May, $8,800. Don't discredit him as well. This A's lineup has absolutely stunk this year, have not gotten off the ground yet. He's a good matchup here for a Dodgers team that is really charged up here after getting kind of beaten around by the Rockies. And, that wasn't very pretty for anybody. But yeah, I like Jacob deGrom.
Wow, Kenneth hitting us with the wonderful, he's getting older. I'd love to meet the baseball
I never would have
player
signed him
who's
for that
getting
extension.
younger.
Never would have signed him to an extension. I think that was a bad move. Trade him away while his value is high, Matt. You don't want to face these facts as a Mets fan. Let's move on.
Okay, that sounds good now that you are also hosting the show. So Kenny says to you, Matt, really thoroughly enjoys your hard-hitting analysis. So can you give me a little bit more right now with your favorite bat in the 5 to 6K range?
Sure. I like Alex Bregman tonight. He is a known destroyer of left-handed pitching. He already has a home run against a left-hander this season. He posted a 167 WRC plus against lefties last year, and it was even better the year prior when he won the MVP. Taking on Jose Cantana for the Angels. He's a decent pitcher. As Kenny would say, he's getting older, but not great against right-handers, clearly on the downside of his career. So I think Bregman has a chance to do some damage in this matchup.
Okay, Kenny, I saw it. I believe a slight nod in agreement with his pick there.
Well, yeah, I like the Astros lineup a lot here tonight. Jose Quintana, the difference is he's not a good pitcher. He's an awful pitcher, and he's a great matchup for all of these Astros. I'm going to be a little bit bolder, though, here. Taking the high-priced bat on the Astros. Whoa, whoop-de-doo. Jose Altuve at $5,200, okay? He is still underpriced here, I think, because last year, if you remember, Jose Altuve couldn't hit the side of a barn. But you want to talk about guys who have consistently destroyed lefties over their career. Jose Altuve, 176 WRC plus against lefties in 2019. That's pretty good. So far this year, he has 6 hits and 16 at-bats, 8 runs, 4 walks. He has been a machine at getting on base, and I think that's going to be a key tonight for a couple lineups that I like to stack. But Jose Altuve today, I think the key is he gets on base a lot. There's going to be a lot of Astros on base for him to drive in. He only has 1 RBI so far this year, but I think those should come in time. And a 279 WRC plus in 3 games, which is the shortest sample size of all time, but still against lefties, that's really good. He's looked like a different person. It begs the question, are the Astros cheating again? I think they are, but they have really hit the ball very well, and it's hard to ignore their lineup.
Matt, why are you not bold enough?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll take the guy with the better numbers for an extra couple $100, but It sounds like for the most part, me and Kenny are on the same page. You want the
Okay.
right-handers against Cantana.
All right, Kenny, let's see where you're going for your favorite bat in the 4 to 5K range.
Yeah, this price range, because of I actually liked a lot of guys in the earlier games with this price range. But look, to me, Keston Hiura isn't a terrible option here, because if you're down with the BVP, then he's got a 4-for-7 lifetime mark off Trevor Williams with 3 home runs, a 445 expected batting average, which is to ironically be expected because, he hit the ball really hard out of the yard. You're going to have an expected batting average that's super high. But yeah, I mean, he's clearly beaten up on Trevor Williams. I like a lot of the players or a lot of these hitters against Williams because, he's really on the downturn of his career as well. We're talking about a lot of has-beens here today on Sweat. But yeah, Keston here, I think he should have a pretty decent spot in this lineup. He's yet to get going this year, but it's still, incredibly early.
It certainly is. So what do you want to do in this department, Matty?
I'm going to target a never was in Nick Pivetta. So I like the Rays here. They're 4.9 implied team total, tied for the top mark on the slate. So I like Austin Meadows, expected to hit near the top of the Rays lineup at 4,400. Left-handed batter, known for doing his best work against right-handed pitchers. I think we all kind of know it's going to be a down year for Boston. Very, very disappointing showing on opening weekend against the Orioles. So I will go with Austin Meadows here as my mid-range bat.
Austin Meadows, a good friend of the program, by the way. Back when dudes could be within 6 feet of each other, he was in the DraftKings studio. I just want everyone to remember that. Favorite value bat, Matt?
Yeah, so not a huge value. He's 3,900, and he's going to be kind of high owned, I would imagine, after hitting a couple of home runs last night. But Jared Walsh, this guy just destroys right-handed pitching. I am very high on his prospects moving forward. He posted a 178 WRC plus against right-handers last season. Taking on a guy, Luis Garcia, pretty middling as far as prospects go. He was the number 13 prospect for the Astros, not somebody that we really need to be afraid of. He had a 5.22 xFIP over a small sample size of 12 innings last year. I think Walsh can go yard potentially again tonight, so I'm targeting him in this matchup.
Deuce, hook me up with some value, man.
Jeff McNeil, $3,600. I know that Maddie's going to like this one, but he's still a 303 career hitter against lefties. Strangely enough, he was also 303 last year. He has the same career mark, as he does in 2020. But, he did just have the 4 home runs, so that's obviously going to hurt him a little bit in this spot. But still, I think against a bad pitcher here, McNeil is going to be at the very top of the Mets order. And I expect a lot of runners on base for the New York Mets. McNeil should be on base plenty. So I think there's going to be a lot of traffic, and McNeil is going to be a big part of that. So, give me Jeff McNeil here, $3,600. I don't think you can, rarely you can find a bat that's this good at $3,600. The guy just hits the ball consistently.
From bats to bets. Give me your favorite one tonight, Maddie, on the DraftKings Sportsbook.
Not a main slate game. It's a 6:40 start, so I don't know if that's cheating or not, but I'm taking the Miami Marlins. I've been on the fish a couple times here to start the year. I think that they're a nice target. Trevor Rogers, very interesting pitcher. Borderline top 100 type prospect, but he struck out 12.54 batters per 9 innings last year in limited work. Then he put together a nasty spring training, 29 strikeouts, 5 walks over 19 innings in spring, 2.84 ERA. So I think Walsh is somebody who, Rogers is somebody who has the potential to be a pretty good pitcher in the major leagues. He's one of the reasons why Marlins fans can have a little bit of excitement this year. And I think they keep the good vibes going, and they take care of business tonight against the Cardinals.
Kenny, bring us home, dude.
I like the A's and Astros over 10. Jose Quintana's best years are behind him. As we talked about, last year he was like slightly better, but he threw 183 pitches, so there's nothing to really read into there. Luis Garcia, Matt and I have talked about this matchup plenty, but Luis Garcia, 436 expected ERA last year. Not very good. I don't expect either of these pitchers to have much success. And meanwhile, like we've been talking about, the Astros, the right-handed bats here, Michael Brantley as well. You can throw him in as a lefty against this team. I mean, this Astros team has hit so well that even Jason Castro hit a 2-run homer yesterday. Like, that was shocking over Sean Manaea, who's historically dominated the Astros. I'm not really sure what's going on here, but they're scoring runs. I can't deny it, and I got to back them.
Kenny, is the reason you're not on any Madden Sims this week because you're still disgruntled that Matt popped in on one of your games last week, stealing your thunder?
No, I wouldn't say that. No.